Hold up, even half of these leaks are true, the entire meta is about to flip. We are talking about Himeko SP losing her core teammate, Aventurine SP playing in a way we have never seen before, and a Blade SP that might literally switch roles mid-fight. And that's not even the craziest part, because some of these future units, they don't just upgrade teams, they replace them completely. So before you start saving, pulling, or planning your comms, you need to see what's actually coming, and more importantly, what might not be worth investing in anymore. Alright, let's get this started. Last week we got a lot of new info about future characters, and most of it comes from Uncle B. First up, Himeko's SP team. According to him, the team includes Sunday and Danheng PT, but Sunday will eventually be replaced by Robin SP. Honestly, that's a bit surprising. I originally thought someone else would get replaced instead of Sunday. Maybe it's because their kits are similar, but I'm not fully convinced that Danheng PT will stay either. It feels unlikely that Hoyoverse would pass up the chance to sell more new characters, right? If I remember correctly, earlier info suggested that the main push teams like Silverwolf and Himeko were supposed to be all female, but that was a very early info though. But if Sunday is replaced by Robin SP, then yeah, that would line up with all the female idea. Still, I'm pretty sure both Welt and Danheng PT will eventually get replaced for best in slot options. Because there is a statement from an old friend, mentioned by Galaxy, but probably Mortis. He said that Welt won't be Himeko SP best in slot. That's it. Which makes sense, like I said earlier, it's probably not just Welt. Danheng PT likely is not best in slot either. Even so, Welt still feels like a universal option from Nova Flare, someone who can enable surveillance teams. After knowing how good he is after the Nova Flare, we surely have high expectation of his future replacement. The gap has to be wide, or else they are not going to worth our jades. But yeah, the main point here is that, well, it's not Himeko's SP optimal peak, at least according to that source. Next, we have AVENTURINE SP from Full Stop Chan. First, he is expected to release in version 4.5, and he is an elation DPS focused on follow-up attacks. But there's more. His kit is designed so that he works best when he is the only elation character in the team. That's interesting, but keep in mind this is still early info. It could change before beta or even during beta. And then Uncle B added more details. AVENTURINE SP can advance actions, instantly trigger follow-up attacks, and his mechanics are somewhat similar to Evernight. Basically, his teammates stacks buffs onto him when they perform actions, but we don't know exactly what triggers it yet. Possibly he will have some kind of talent or traces in his kit where he works best when there are 3 or 4 different characters from all different paths. That seems funny but also interesting at the same time. But if it really works like Evernight, then after enough stacks, he'll probably deal some kind of link damage. So honestly, we might find that he will probably pair well with Ashvale as main DPS. But according to Mortis and Galaxy League, it seems like there is a change in the plan from Hoyo. They won't likely make Aventurine the long-awaited dedicated DPS for Ashvale, but this does not necessarily mean Ashvale will have an anti-synergy to Aven. But if this clarification is true, especially if it came from a reliable source, that doesn't make any sense. So what's the point of pulling Ashvale now after knowing that the future follow-up main DPS is turned out to be having just an okay synergy with him? I guess we will have to just wait for further information. And next we are going to talk about Blade SP. According to Full Stop, he's expected in version 4.3. This has been mentioned quite a few times already. He's an auxiliary character and can function as both support and a DPS, meaning he likely has 2 forms. Yeah, this already sounds complicated. His kit is probably going to be long enough to need his own breakdown. They added more details. His mechanics are similar to Cyrene. After using his ultimate for the first time, he transforms into another form. And yes, he has a second ultimate. His overall strength increases significantly in the second ultimate, and the visual effects are supposedly amazing. Blade SP also takes a large portion of the follow-up attack team's power and focuses it on himself. So if you interpret this, he's likely start as a support, then after his first ultimate, switches into a DPS role. Then his second ultimate boosts his offensive capabilities even further. But that raises the questions, once he transforms, can he go back to his original form? Based on this info, it doesn't seem like it, unless there's some hidden mechanic. If these buffs are not tied to turn duration, then it could still work smoothly. For example, he buffs the team first, then transforms, and the buff stays active throughout the fight. Still, it's a bit odd if he's both main DPS and support at the same time. Then what's AVENTURINE SP's role? Maybe they are meant to be in the same follow-up team. From the way Uncle B described it though, Blade's DPS side seems more emphasized than his support role. But thankfully we won't have to wait for too long. After version 4.2 beta, the 4.3 beta should reveal his full kit. Just remember, this is still early info, it can change either slightly or drastically. Alright, moving on. After all those husbando discussions, Blade and Aventurine, we finally have something about Nihilix. This is also from Uncle B. So Nihilix apparently has a transformation form, similar to Cyrene, and can support other elation characters. This suggests that Nihilix is likely a dedicated support for elation teams, not a sustain unit but more of a final piece support. Interestingly, this probably means Nihilix is not meant to pair with Aventurine SP, since Aventurine prefers being the only elation unit, if the previously mentioned leaks are confirmed to be true. So yeah, Nihilix seems like a specialized support for elation, similar to how Cyrene support Remembrance. What we don't know is whether Nihilix can support characters outside of elation. Also, it said that Nihilix is similar to Cyrene, not exactly the same. As for team replacement, nothing is confirmed. Right now, people are speculating a lot. Some think certain characters will be replaced, but those are just rumors. If Nihilix is indeed a support, then logically, they will replace an existing support slot in elation teams. Currently, that could mean characters like Yalgua or elation MC. In hypercarry setups, you might end up with two supports like Yalgua and Nihilix, plus one sustain. There are also rumors about new sustain unit, possibly Pearl, but that's still unclear. For teams like Silverwolf 999 or Evanesia, it looks like the standard setup might be 2 supports plus 1 sustain. Mortis once mentioned that after version 4.2, only a few elation characters would be released, but if you count Nihilix, a sustain, and Aventurine SP, that's already 3. That does not feel like a few. So maybe plans have changed, or maybe the definition of few is flexible here. Again, this is early info, don't take it as final. This Uncle B is also a bit suspicious. The way they describe both Blade SP and Nihilix having the same role as Cyrene is quite odd. And as far as I know, there are currently no clean evidence or any track records that confirm this Uncle B is a reliable informant. At this point, we still don't fully know what the core elation teams for Silverwolf 999 or Evanesia will look like. So that's all the feature info summary for now. So far, what do you guys think about all of this? I really want to hear your opinions. Please share it in the comment section. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like and subscribe button, turn on notification as well so you won't miss out on any of my Star Rail content. I will see you guys on my next one. Bye!